Okay, so we are recording, and would you mind introducing yourself and
Sure.
telling you have multiple hats, right? You have multiple
Literally.
roles.
So
Go ahead.
I'm Mark Greenwald. I am a licensed and ordained pastor for a small church in Blackstone, Massachusetts. I am also the senior manager for site operations for CVS.com. And I've been there it'll be going on 8 years, the middle of June. I love what I do. I love the staff. And I take their well-being very seriously because they've been entrusted to my care. And for me, they are the most important aspect of my job. And so I try to relate that to each and every one that I talk to, and that they know that I care about them. To give you an idea of what that means, and this is not only for my onshore staff, this is also for my offshore staff.
So what's your size of your team, if you don't
So
mind?
my offshore staff is 10 individuals right now. My onshore team is 9.
Okay.
And so what I do is I start off by asking, how are you doing? Not what are you doing on the project, right? Or the projects. I want to know about them, right? It's important to me and it's important to them because I need them to understand that they're more than just a slot filling a position, that they're a real person, that God cares for them and I care for them. And to me, that is one of the reasons why probably I have the lowest turnover rate in the area in which I work. It's funny because one time when I got my year-end review, the executive director, he goes to me, I don't know what you do, but your team loves you. I started laughing. I said, well, it's because I put them first on my agenda. All right. I care for them. I care for them as individuals. They know that they can come to me if they're having a problem. And I will ask, would you like me to pray for you? All right. And I do that on the job. And people that don't work for me anymore, but essentially are working in other parts of the group, they will still come to me and they'll say, I have to go for surgery. Would you pray for me? Because they know I will do it.
Long-lasting relationships, right?
To me, work is all about relationship building.
Yeah.
It really is. There have been good managers I've worked for and some very poor ones. I had an issue with a manager at a financial company that I worked for which I was the director of quality for their website. And I can remember going into work for 6 months, sitting down at my computer before the day started and pray, Lord, rescue me from this place. And do you know that it took maybe 5 months and I finally got a call from a recruiter at CVS. I was on the train and I said, I can't talk right now. It's pretty noisy. I said, but if you call me back, we can chat later in the evening. And he did. That call was supposed to be 10 minutes. It was 45 minutes.
Nice.
And in the end, I got hired by CVS.
And that's where you are now, right?
That's correct. As I said, great people, really great people. As I said, I love my staff. Absolutely love my staff.
So I was telling my husband, one of the things that is so incredibly different about CVS or about Liberty is that every class that I've had, they, on the technical side, they integrate the people and the relationships side. And I've taken that with me, in my current job that, no matter, you can do anything with technology, but if you don't have people on board,
Absolutely.
that's a showstopper.
And I've created relationships because of the work that I've done. For example, the on-call after hours stuff. The people in our incident management team and the senior leadership know they can call me any time of the day or night, and I will always answer the phone for them. Always. I will never ignore it. to me, that's really important, that people know that I'm always there and can be counted upon. All right, because in the end, again, it is the relationship that is the most important thing. The other thing is, because of the experience I have in defining support models, because that's what my team does. I've been called upon at least several times now to help define a support model for various relationships that we built with vendors.
Nice.
And those people that are the business owners appreciate that so much, because then they have a model they can work off of and they don't have to worry about it. And in the end, I said, if you ever have a problem, pick up the phone and call me. My cell phone numbers are on my signature line. The other thing that you'll notice about my email, everyone knows at CVS that I'm a licensed and an ordained pastor. All right, I make no bones about it. I said, I put in the time. My church has ordained me. The organization that our church is a part of is the Conservative Christian Congregational Conference in the US, and they have granted me license. So I'm licensed, I'm ordained, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts recognizes that. So for me, it's been a great ride. I've had my challenges medically, as you can see.
That's what I was going to get into next. You told me quite a story, and you are such, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you and learning about your background. I really appreciate what you're teaching me here. Do you want to share a little bit about what you're in your?
I'll share a little bit about me in general that you don't know.
Okay.
I was raised in a Jewish home. I was bar mitzvahed. I was confirmed. I went to Hebrew school after regular school for a number of years. I was actually able to read and write Hebrew. I can't do that anymore. I can read it, and some of it I can still understand. I was baptized when I was 32 years old, a believer's baptism, after returning from Saudi Arabia, where I almost lost my head because I was accused of spying for the Israeli government. All right, so that brought me to a focus that said, you need to accept Christ now, or you may never be able to. All right. And that night, before I flew home, I got on my knees and I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior there. All right. All by myself. There wasn't any fanfare. There wasn't any, great, things that were going on. But when I got home, I called the pastor of the church that we were going to, and I said, I need to confess my belief in Jesus Christ to you. And he came out to the house to hear it. And that's afterwards I was baptized. So in my life medically, I have a litany of things that have gone on, which is, it is the way it is. Most of the time when I go in for surgery these days for something, the anesthesiologist basically says, you have an interesting medical history, is what I get. But I had a heart attack back in the year 2000. It was what's called an LAD. It's the main artery that goes into the heart. 20% of the people that have that survive. So I was blessed to be able to survive.
In 2000, right? In 2000.
Yeah, that's correct. And what was interesting is I remember being wheeled into the emergency room and I yelled, stop. And everyone stopped, right? I picked up the phone, called my wife, and I said, honey, I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm at the hospital. Have a nice day, basically. So she came down, obviously. I was stuffed into a helicopter, flown to Worcester Medical Center, where they actually did an angioplasty and a stent. So this time I was feeling like I was having a problem for about 2 weeks. I went into the local hospital in Milford, Mass, and they did some tests. They said, we're admitting you. Right. And after that, they did a sonogram of the heart, and they said, yes, you have some problems. You need surgery. And the cardiologist, who has followed me and helped me for 20-something years now, insisted that she would come in, and she did my cardiac cath, which is fairly unusual because it's usually the hospitalist, the cardiologist that's there.
Oh, it's because she knew your history so
She knew
well.
my history so well, and we've established a relationship as well. You know, I go in and talk to her, not just medically, but you know, how are you doing? How's the family? But again, relationships are important in this
Yep.
life. That is important. So, and she insisted I go to Brigham and Women's, which is one of the preeminent hospitals for this, and that's where I went. But what I found out is the stent that was blocked became blocked, and I should have died from that. All right. However, the heart found a way around the stent. All right. It forged a way to flow around that stent. All right. And that basically gave me the time to take care of, you know, what I needed to take care of. In that surgery, I had a bypass, I had a replaced mitral valve, and I had a removal of an aneurysm in the heart. All that was done. The surgery should have taken 4 hours, took 8. All right. And I was in the ICU for 4 days, and I didn't wake up until the 3rd day. So I believe God was looking out for me. He has a plan for me. I don't know everything that he has planned for me. I know he wants me here. For me to go back to school at Liberty
That's
at
what I
age
was going to
60,
say.
at
2000 that happened. And when did you graduate?
2017,
Oh my
I went
goodness.
back. I went back in the year 2013 to school, and I was scared, right? I'm saying I'm competing against all these young kids. I said, how am I ever going to do? But by the end of the 2nd course, I knew I could cut it. And my philosophy was 1 course at a time, 1 week at a time, and God will carry me through, and he did. I tell you what, taking the semesters of Greek, right? Hebrew was a breeze in comparison to taking the semesters of Greek. That was a
And you were
real.
working full time? Were you working?
I work 60 hours a week for CVS.
Oh
Right?
my goodness.
My day starts at 3:30. I'll get done this today at 4:30. All right. So they're long days, productive days. And again, it's the people that enables me to do what I do. All right. And the appreciation I get from my senior leadership team that makes me want to be there and want to be able to participate and contribute in a positive way. So,
And something else that is really, I've come to, I don't know what the right word is, but you know, the little things each day that people, you know, grumble about. When you've been through an experience like you have, it makes that seem so frivolous, right? It just
it does.
isn't.
That's not, the small things are not important. I always tell
Exactly.
my staff, don't sweat the small stuff. They'll take care of themselves.
You have a little
Um,
bit different perspective.
I do, and it's funny because I had probably over 50 people praying for me at CVS, in addition to my church family that was praying for me. I think it was kind of funny that aside from the 4 days, 4 days in ICU and the 1 day in surgery, I worked every day in the hospital. And I was in there for 5 weeks, including handling some problems in the middle of the night. Because they asked, you know, I had a nurse come in one time and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I have a problem at work."
But you love what you're doing,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so good. And I can't sit around and watch TV all day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So since February 1st, my dad had a bad fall. He had a brain
Ooh,
injury. Then my uncle had a bad fall and he was in the hospital, and my cousin died.
oh
So
my God.
no, it's I know it's terrible, but my point is it's February 1st through March 20, you know, it's the end of March here. It almost made me more angry at work when people would just bicker, because I'm like, you know what, there's so many more things more important. You know, you are alive, you're
Yep.
breathing.
And
So
that's why I put in, by the way, that thing on the bottom that I sent you, because I say this to people. I've been on WebExes with 30 people, for example. and you'd hear somebody complain about it. And I said, let me tell you something. Today is the best day of my life. I said, and today will always be the best day of my life. And I told them why. And one lady said, I got to write that on my wall here.
You're right. Yeah. You
I
don't
said,
look around.
there are so many things that can go wrong, that can challenge us. And yet, my faith in God is the thing that really carried me through. I found it a wonderful experience in some ways because I got to minister to people in the hospital that would come in. And one of the things that happened in the hospital that really surprised me in a good way, they give you a heart pillow, and people that come into your room, they can sign it.
Yeah.
Which is a nice thing. So this young lady, clearly she was an immigrant, young, and she was cleaning my room. And I asked her, would you like to sign my pillow? And she goes, I don't know if I can. I got to ask my supervisor. I said, well, you ask your supervisor. And I'm sure that they'll say yes, but you ask. So she did, and she came back and all smiles and signed it. And as she was leaving, I said, don't you ever forget that what you do for people like me, in terms of helping my room stay clean, is as important as the doctor that operated on me. I said, because you care. I said, and don't forget that, because God cares as well. And she, big smile on her face after I told her that, because I don't think anybody really, cares for the people that do the things that are necessary when we're in the hospital. They just don't.
Appreciation.
So yeah, that's why I said writing something on a heart of gratitude is really simple for me, because I am grateful every day of my life now, every day. And every day is new, and I thank God in the morning, and I thank him for the small things as well as the big things, because he takes care of all the details for me. I don't have to worry about a lot of stuff because I know he's there.
There's
So
a
for me,
plan, right? There's a plan and a direction.
absolutely. And he knows what that plan is. I don't. All right. He'll reveal it to me in his good pleasure and time. But until then, I'm perfectly happy to go along for the ride with him.
I always say I just got to be patient, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's been
Well,
good.
it was amazing talking to you, and I've really look up to you as far as just the little time I've known you. You've taught me so much. So thank you for agreeing to come on here and share with
Uh,
this episode.
No problem. As I said, no problem. I love people. I mean, God has made us to be social creatures. You're the crown of his creation, and we need to care for each other. I mean, in the end, this is the most important thing. Our relationships that we build are what our legacy will be. It's not how much money I made. It's not how many toys I have. It's not how big or small a house I have. My house is pretty much taken over by my wife with quilting supplies. I have a little spot where I am right now. This is my office. That's it. All right. I have no further room. Okay. And I've been married now it'll be 49 years,
Wow.
June 1.
That's what
And
we're 27 years. Congratulations.
it goes by fast. It really, really does. It goes by fast. Thank God she has the patience I do not have. Honest to God, she is a very patient woman.
She's waiting for you to call her back right now, isn't she?
I will be, yes, I will be calling her back and letting her know. I said, I really want you to have a really good time away with your friends. I said, because you need it.
Well, is there anything else advice you have for, technical leads, directors in the, tech space, the leading teams?
I think you need to put your staff on a pedestal, all right, because of the fact that they make you either a success or a failure. I try to do a couple of things. One is, when we talk as staff, I'll talk with my teams, individuals at the team. I'll say, it might be a good idea to consider doing this or writing this or connecting with that. And when it happens and it turns out well, I say, you need to write me an email that I can forward to the
Yes.
senior leadership. And I
Tell
can
them your
say,
story.
this all you're doing, not mine. I said,
Yep.
I don't need the accolades. I said, but you're young. Your career is growing. And I want to see your career grow. I said, in the end, I told this to every one of the people that work for me. My job is not to promote myself. My job is to equip you with the tools that you can use to do greater things than I've ever done in my career. And if I've done that, I've done my job. And that is my satisfaction.
Yep, to serve them, right? To serve them
Absolutely.
and support them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you again for taking the time to talk to me. And I'm gonna stop the recording and we'll
Okay.